Hello! Welcome to our public speaking group project for the end of the semester. I'm Stephen Holbrook, Fumio Yamada, Drew Romney. So we're here today to talk about some of the things that public speakers do well, and also some of the things that they do poorly. And in order to exhibit that, we're going to have Fumio here demonstrate some of the things that maybe public speakers don't do the best, and then we'll ask Drew to go ahead and show us some of the things that they do well. And we hope to do this in a setting where we're kind of getting Fumio ready to give a speech, and he can hopefully get excited for that. And by the end of the presentation, we want Fumio to be a very polished public speaker. Okay, so let's start off with this. Fumio, so you're giving a speech today.
Yeah.
Let's ask this question. So, how much have you prepared? What did you do to get ready for the speech that you're going to be giving?
I made it up on the way over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The bush was inspiring.
The bush.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know what topic you're going to be speaking about?
I think we're like dedicating a graveyard for the martyrs of freedom.
Okay. All right. So you haven't really done a whole lot of work yet, then, have you?
No.
Okay. Do you feel prepared?
No.
No. Okay. Well, that would probably be your first mistake. Whenever you get ready for a presentation, you want to make sure that you actually are ready, that you know what you're talking about, and additionally, that you have a good idea of what you want your audience to know. Okay? So Drew, let's ask you here, what exactly did you do to get ready for your speech today?
Well, because of the seriousness of the speech, I've been contemplating what I should speak about for a couple of weeks. And about a week ago, I finished my outline, and last night I practiced my speech 2 or 3 times in this very room, actually,
Okay.
to get a feeling of what it would be like to give the actual presentation.
That's a great idea. So Drew did something very important. He actually came to the place where he's going to be giving his presentation. He took time out a few weeks in advance thinking about his topic as well. And additionally, he came here to make sure that everything would be in place, that he would understand the dynamics of the room, and he made sure that he'd be comfortable with it. Now, when you practiced your speech, did you record it, or did you have anybody look over it to give you feedback?
I did. I recorded it once myself, looked over it myself, and then had a few of my colleagues look over it to help me know what I could change in order to better present my message.
Great. And have you practiced since you've been given that feedback?
I have. I practiced once more. This time at home. Couldn't come back here, but I got one more practice round in, yes.
Great. So as you can see, Drew, it sounds like you're really well prepared for this speech. Fumio, this is a model of probably what you want to follow in the future. So Drew here is the shining example of what to do when giving a speech, of how you prepare. Okay, but you know what? That's okay. Don't worry about it. You can still do great. So just loosen up, feel relaxed, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to get you started. So we're going to pretend like we're actually giving a speech here. I'm going to step off and let you give it. And yeah, so go ahead and action.
Or score and 7.
Okay, time out. Okay, first off. So Fumio, remind me again of what you're speaking about.
We're dedicating a graveyard for soldiers.
Okay, so that's a pretty serious occasion, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to point something out, that people will only take you as seriously as you are dressed. So the drawstrings hanging out of the pants, the shoelaces, that's not exactly serious with the shirt untucked, and the tie kind of messed up a little bit with the collar that's not quite buttoned up and all that. These are important details. And when you are giving your speech, you want to take that into consideration of what you're going to be talking about, and what kind of message you want to send to people. Now, Drew here, tell me why you chose to dress the way you did with a suit and a tie.
Because of the seriousness of the speech, I thought that it would be appropriate for the occasion to dress accordingly and show respect for the graveyard.
Definitely. Do you feel like when people see you dressed up in a suit, that it'll make a good first impression potentially?
I think it'll make a great first impression, and that people will believe more of what I'm saying and trust that I have prepared well and that will give the speech that they need.
Great. Sounds good. Okay, so you've cleaned up a little bit. You got your collar fixed. You got those drawstrings tucked in and all that. So you're good to go. You're looking a lot better. So let's go ahead and give us another shot. Okay, you feeling a little better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So consider those things we talked about. Dressed. We're helping you get prepared a little bit. So let's go from here.
Okay.
And action.
Or score and let's see. Oh, I forgot to prepare this. Let me think.
Okay, cut.
Yeah,
Cut.
I forgot to.
Cut. Okay. Now, does the audience know that you didn't prepare for this speech? I mean, I know because you just told me, but did they know before you started speaking? No. Okay, why is that?
They don't watch me all the time. They don't know.
Right. So remember that when it comes to preparing, you are innocent until proven guilty. So they're going to assume that you fully prepared for your speech until you give them no reason to believe otherwise. So if someone starts off, so pretend you're in church, someone comes up and says, oh, I had a really busy weekend, I didn't prepare, and what do you instantly start doing?
Oh, I'm not paying attention.
Exactly. They just gave you a great excuse to not listen to their speech. Okay? So Drew, why don't you give us a good example of how you would start off a speech to make sure that people get the impression that you're prepared and you know what you're talking about.
Right, I think it's important just to begin your speech with a story, a statistic, something to grab their attention of the audience, and not preface your speech with excuses of why it's going to be a crappy speech.
Exactly. So you don't want to lower their expectations right out of the gate, because their expectations are probably going to be high when it starts, and hopefully you'll be able to continue to go up. Whereas if you lower them right away, usually it's just a downward slope, and you won't continue to get better, but continue to get worse, unfortunately. Okay, so you know not to do that. Now you know that you can just kind of start off with a speech. People will listen, they'll be engaged. So let's give it another shot, okay? All right, whenever you're ready, go ahead and start.
Okay. Over 80 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation and conceived in liberty and dedicated to the idea that...
Okay, time out, time out. Now, Fumio, in your speech, I have a question. When you wrote it out, well, you didn't prepare it, but as you're saying it, did you consider the words a very critical part of your speech?
No.
Okay. Well, what do you think would be hard about having those in your speech all the time? What would that do to your audience?
I don't know. Hard to concentrate, I guess.
It'd be hard to concentrate, right? So one thing you really want to focus on is make sure you're not using vocal fillers like or like, because what that does is it draws away from your actual message, and people will focus on you instead of the message, which isn't exactly what you want, right? Drew, what feedback do you have on that, and how would you improve that without using any vocal fillers?
The only way to really stop using vocal fillers is to practice. And when you watch yourself, as I did last night, because I'm perfect, I realized that I did have a few vocal fillers in there. And so it's important that we just begin our speech, be confident in what we're saying, and go with the flow.
Exactly. So remember, be confident in what you're saying, go with the flow just like Drew said. Make sure that you're not using vocal fillers and all that. Sometimes it's hard to do, but the more you practice, the better it'll get. Okay? How you feeling?
Better.
Feeling good?
Yeah.
Okay? Let's get you ready for this next speech. We're gonna improve here. You're getting better. So let's try this again. Go ahead and go whenever you're ready.
Okay. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. We are met on the great battlefield of that war.
Cut, 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 cut. Okay, I'm going to pass this one off to Drew Romney here.
Fumio, that was really boring. The way that you speak, the tone in your voice is going to change a lot of how the audience presents your message. May I give you an example, please? Okay. 407 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal.
Wow. How do you feel right now? Tired. That was moving stuff, huh? Why do you think that was? What did Drew do differently that helped grab your attention?
I don't know, just there was meaning behind it.
I think the big thing that Drew did was his voice inflection. He didn't just use the same monotonous tone all the time, but he made sure to actually mix up how he was talking, so it wasn't a very robotic 407 years ago. That's going to put people to sleep. But if you use voice inflections, people are going to listen to what you're saying, and they're going to be interested and engaged in your message. Okay? All right, so let's keep going. We're doing well. I don't want you to get discouraged. So you're getting there. You're getting better every time. So let's go ahead and just give this a try. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and go for it.
But what I wanted to tell you about today is about how important this battlefield is. And I wanted to make you understand that as I talk to you all today. Because if you don't, then you're being really disrespectful to people and for what they died for.
Okay, cut. All right, Fumio, let me ask you a question. If I come up to you and tell you to do something, or if I come up to you and say, I'm going to persuade you, what is your immediate response in your mind?
Yeah, I don't think. Good luck with that.
Yeah, and why is that?
I don't like being told what to do.
Yeah, people don't like being told what to do they? Okay, Drew, what are your thoughts on this, and how would you do this better?
Let your message persuade them. If you start off by telling them, I'm going to persuade you, I'm going to change you, I'm going to make you do this, then they're going to shut off and they're not going to want to listen to you. But your message that you prepared or didn't prepare is going to be able to persuade them and let them know that what you're saying is important.
Thank you very much. That's exactly right. So you don't want to tell people that you're going to persuade them. You want your message to do the talking. You want what you have to say to be persuasive, and not you just telling them to be persuaded. Because like you said, what you're going to say is, no, you're not going to tell me what to do, because people generally don't like being told what to do. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
You got this. You got this. You can do this.
You're doing well.
You're doing great.
The world will little know nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work.
Okay, time. All right. So Fumio, do you have hot spots on your feet?
Not today.
Not today. Okay. Do you have like a fly buzzing around your head you're trying to avoid?
No.
No? Okay. Then for that reason, you want to make sure that you are not shifting your weight. So we've talked a lot about distractions that distract things away from your message. You know, shifting your weight back and forth, kind of like this, makes people wonder what you're talking about. Makes people distracted by what you're doing as opposed to what you're saying. So Drew, what's the best way to make sure that you just stand there and deliver?
The best way is to act like your feet are planted into the ground. In this specific speech, we're not going to be moving around too much. But if you are going to be moving around, you're going to want to move and walk with your audience. And as soon as you get to a spot that you want to stay there. Own that spot, and then maybe move back later. Stand there and own that spot. But the swaying and the dancing and the hula hooping or dancing isn't very effective with the audience. Yeah, that's bad. That's really bad.
So, not only does it make you look uncomfortable, it makes everyone who's watching you feel uncomfortable with you. And you don't want people to be uncomfortable while you're giving a speech, right? Okay, so let's try that again. Let's own your spot while you're here. This is your place. This is sacred ground. You own it. This is yours. Fumio Yamada's only. Okay? All right. So, gonna give you another shot.
Yeah.
You're doing better.
Okay.
Now let's try this again. Okay?
Four. Score! And 7 years ago.
Okay, that's all you're getting to. Now, Fumio, what are you doing?
Making it exciting.
Okay, making it exciting. How was that exciting? Did people come to see a basketball game?
No.
Okay. If they wanted to watch basketball, would they watch basketball?
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't need to come to you to have these exciting mannerisms. People are coming to you for content, to be entertained, to be educated, whatever it might be, but they didn't really come to see you play basketball.
At your grandmother's funeral, you're not going to give a speech and say, when my grandma died and went to heaven. That's a little bit distracting and inappropriate for the occasion.
Okay, so remember, you're dedicating some soldiers' graves, okay? So you don't want to be playing basketball at the same time during your speech. It will send the wrong message, without a doubt.
So where do I put my hands then? Because I feel like they need to be
Great question.
doing something.
So, right here, this is the neutral position right here. So you return to neutral. So there you go. Put this right
Relax,
here.
just relax
Yeah.
and stand there.
Shake it off, and just let your arms hang to the side, okay? That's all you need to do. So this is called neutral, as we learned about in Brother Mortensen's class. So with this, you leave them here. You're welcome to gesture, make some kind of gestures with your hands, but when you come back, you always bring them right back down to the side. Okay? So you don't want the fig leaf covering up as if you're in the Garden of Eden. Okay? You also don't want the reverse fig leaf, trying to cover up your backside. Those make you look uncomfortable and again make everybody else feel uncomfortable. So, if you're right here, it shows that you're confident in yourself, you're confident in your message, and you're confident that you can tell the audience what they need to know and what they need to hear. Okay, so hands at the side, own your spot. There you go. Alright, let's give it one more run through.
Fourscore and 7 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty, and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. Now we are engaged in a great civil war, testing whether that nation, or any nation, so conceived and so dedicated, can long endure. We are met on a great battlefield of that war. We have come to dedicate a portion of that field as a final resting place for those who have gave their lives that this nation might live.
Stop. Wow. Fumio, that was amazing. You've come so far. How do you feel?
And prepare next time.
Yeah, you feel good, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, the biggest difference is you made sure that through what we've done now, you're more prepared. You were able to own your spot. You didn't tell people that you didn't prepare as well. You also were able to avoid vocal fillers. You returned to neutral. You did all these important things that helped you give a great speech. And do you feel like that was more effective?
Yeah, I mean, I felt better about it. I felt more confident. I felt excited to give it.
Definitely. Well, Fumio, I can definitely say with speeches like that, there's no way you won't get an A in Brother Mortensen's class, especially with the help of two fine gentlemen like ourselves. So, best of luck. Continue to work hard on your speeches, and you will be an excellent public speaker one day. Thank you very much. You can cut that last part.